In conversion, we switch the positions of the subject and the predicate terms. It's pretty simple. All E and I claims are equivalent to their converses. So, and it's not the case with A and O claims. It's only the case with E and I claims. So let's consider this E claim. No Norwegians are Slavs. No Norwegians are Slavs. And actually, so E and I claims, that means that E and I claims are going to be equivalent to their converses. E and I claims. So let's look at converse. So we start with this E claim first. No Norwegians are Slavs. In order to get the converse, all we do is switch the positions of the subject and the predicate terms. So we switch Norwegians and Slavs around, and we get no Slavs are no Norwegians. And the idea is that with E and I claims, those claims are going to be logically equivalent to their converse. Yes, sir?
On a test, are we supposed to just do that, or are you going to tell us to do that?
What do you mean?
Are we supposed to, on the test we just had, you know how you just told us to do to get the AA and all this thing? If we have another test like that, are we supposed to automatically do the conversion on them, or would you tell us to do conversion?
I'm not sure. I haven't made the test up, but I think that I would have to tell you to do the converse unless I set up an argument where you need to use the converse in order to deduce the truth value of the argument. Generally, I think I'll be telling you or asking you to give me the converse. Now, it should be easy, right? Converse is just switching the subject and the predicate terms. Some state capitals are large cities. Some state capitals are large cities. Give me the converse of that claim. Yes?
Some large cities are state capitals.
It's not rocket science. Not rocket science. That easy. So the converse, we're simply going to switch the positions of the subject and predicate terms. And when we're working with E and I claims, their converse is going to be logically equivalent. And the idea is that if you are in an argument, you're trying to, well, in Chapter 2 or Chapter 9, we look into how you deduce the validity of arguments, and contraposition as well as obversion and some other moves could be moves that you make when you're trying to deduce the validity of an argument. But I don't think in this class we'll be getting in-depth deductions like that. So I'll probably be asking you about the conversion of claims. Questions, comments about conversion? This is an easy one. Easy. Just simply switch the positions of the subject and predicate terms. How about obversion? Obversion requires a little bit of discussion because we need to know how to make the complementary class. And so let's explain what we're talking about here. If a teacher says, everybody passed the last exam, this phrase, this sentence is going to implicitly refer to the students in the class as a kind of universe of discourse. Everybody passed the last exam. If I use that term in here, everybody is going to refer to the students in this class. So the students in this class are going to represent what they call a universe of discourse. All right, well now think about, for every class within a universe of discourse, there is a complementary class that contains everything in that universe of discourse that is not in that class. Put simply, on the last quiz, all of us took it. The universe of discourse is going to refer to all the students in the class. that took the quiz. Now, some of us got a B and some of us did not. Well, I can refer to those people who didn't get a B as a complementary class. As a complementary class, the non-B getting students on the last exam. And that complementary class will, often you'll use the prefix non in order to convey it. But it's important, and here's why. To find the obverse of a claim, you have to change it from affirmative to negative, or vice versa. And you need to replace the predicate term, that's the last one, with its complementary term. And here's where that complementary idea comes in. Let's take an example. All categorical claims, all four types, A, E, I, and O, are going to be equivalent to their obverses. And let's consider how this works. So we begin with all Presbyterians are Christians. All Presbyterians are Christians. We want to take the obverse of that now. So we change it from an affirmative to a negative, and we replace the term, the predicate term, with its complementary term. So we say, no Presbyterians are non-Christians. So essentially, non-Christians are going to refer to this complementary class within the universe of discourse of people that are not Christian. A, E, no fish are mammals. Take the obverse of that, all fish are non-mammals. So once again, you change it from affirmative to negative, or vice versa, and you replace the predicate term, the last one, with its complementary term, non-mammals. See how it works? Obversion. Now for an I claim, some citizens are voters. Take the obverse of that, some citizens are not. That's wrong. No, it's correct. Because you have to take, oh, that was a close one. You have to, it's an affirmative statement here. So you need to change it to a negative statement here. And in order to do that, you say some citizens are what? Well, this one has to be some citizens are not. And you also need to change the predicate term to its complement. So some citizens are not non-voters. By simplification, some citizens are voters. See how that works? And the last one here, an O claim. Some contestants are not winners. Some contestants are not winners. That is a negative claim. We want to change it to a positive. So we say some contestants are non-winners. And you can see how they're logically equivalent. Obversion. Any questions? Now once again, the obverse of a claim is going to be logically equivalent to all types of claims. All the four types are going to be equivalent to their obverse. The last one, contraposition. In this one, we switch the places of the subject and predicate terms, and we replace both terms with their complementary terms. For example, all Mongolians are Muslims. All Mongolians are Muslims. To take the contraposition, we're going to switch the subject and the predicate and change them both to their complementary terms. So we got all non-Muslims are non-Mongolians. The O claim, some citizens are not voters. Well, we change that around. Some non-voters are not non-citizens. A and O claims are equivalent to their contrapositives. This is not true for E and I claims. So it's only on the bottom. No, I'm sorry. On the left side, A and O claims. A and O claims on the left side of the square of opposition. Any questions about the three categorical operations? Contraposition, converse, and the obverse. Yes, ma'am.
Isn't the square opposition set up A, E, I, O, so only A and O would work?
Yes, A and O, it's a cross.
They're a cross.
Yeah, I said wrong, not on the left side, but it's a cross. So only the A claims and the O claims. Thank you, Greer.
And the E and I too are equivalent, you said.
What's that?
For the converse, you said the E and I are equivalent.
Correct. So in the converse, it's going to be different. It's E and I claims. And that, E and I claims, I should have just stayed with that. E and I. So that's going to be the right-hand side of the square for the converse.
Okay, but for the contraposition is only-
Different.
okay.
Any other questions? All right, now we want to take a look at something that kind of the culmination of syllogistic logic is the categorical syllogism. And that's when we create an argument. It's a two-premise deduction, two-premise deductive argument. And in this syllogism, every claim is going to be standard form categorical claim in which three terms each occur exactly twice in two of the claims. For example, this is an example of a categorical syllogism. You'll notice that all of the statements are in categorical form, and there are three terms, and each are going to occur exactly twice. So you have Americans, you have consumers, and you have Democrats. And they're each going to occur twice in the categorical syllogism. All Americans are consumers. Some consumers are not Democrats. Therefore, some Americans are not Democrats. It's a simplistic argument, but you see how it works. Categorical claims in each position, and two premises, and then a conclusion. And each of the terms are going to appear exactly twice. This is a categorical syllogism in standard form.
It sounds a little bit like the consumers are only in America.
That's not the point they're trying to make.
No, I see.
In fact, they're not really trying to make a point with that argument, just really show the form of the argument. Three categorical claims, and the terms are going to recur exactly twice in each. Now, categorical syllogism in standard form are going to have these three terms, the major, the minor, and the middle term. And we should be clear on what each is. The major term is the predicate of the conclusion. Democrats is the major term in this categorical syllogism. So it's the predicate of the conclusion. The minor term is the subject of the conclusion. Americans. The middle term is going to be that term that does not appear in the conclusion. And that's going to be consumers. Appears exactly twice. We clear on those? Major, minor, and middle. This form of logic comes from Aristotle, I think we talked about, and this categorical syllogism, looking at all the different claims, I think there's exactly 276 varieties of categorical syllogism that are going to use different kinds of categorical claims in here. But it's quite famous. Aristotle spent a lot of time analyzing how these categorical syllogisms work.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Did you say that mid-term is in both premises?
Correct.
But the first one, it's predicate. Consumer is a predicate in the first.
Correct. So the middle term, they say here, the term that occurs in both of the premises but not the conclusion, it's going to occur in different places in the premises.
Okay.
But
So both sentences are premises.
Correct. This is a premise, this is
Yes,
a premise,
okay.
and this is a conclusion here. And so for the major term, that's gonna be the predicate of the conclusion. The minor is gonna be the subject of the conclusion. And the middle term is gonna be that term that appears in the premises but doesn't appear in the conclusion. That'll be consumers. Questions, comments about categorical syllogisms? Very good.